Hey everyone, good morning. It's Dr. Angela from MedFit Medical Weight Loss here in Denver, Colorado. It is another gorgeous winter day today. I'm actually getting over the flu, so kind of kicked me in the butt last week, and but I was in bed for several days. But anyways, I'm feeling much better, and just very grateful for health. You just have no idea when it gets taken away from you. We tend to take this for granted. So I want to make sure that, lesson learned from me and a lesson for you. Don't take your health for granted. I know that, again, weight is a big issue, and it is interfering with how you live your life. And we often, again, just take it for granted, and then all of a sudden you go to your doctor. This is kind of like right around the time when we're going to see the doctor for our annual physicals, right? And your doctor says, well, whoa, your blood pressure is kind of high. And you're like, well, where did that come from? And then he checks some blood tests, and he's like, well, your blood sugars have been high, and now you're pre-diabetic. You're actually a pretty high risk for developing diabetes. And you think to yourself, how did that happen? And then he looks at the weight on the scale, and he says, you've gained 15 pounds in the last year. And he's like, wow, I didn't even change anything. So these things start to add up. And I tell you, I was like in bed for days, and it was pretty terrible. He's like, because I have a 2-year-old daughter. I have a husband. I have mother and a mother-in-law to take care of, and when I was taken out of the equation, I couldn't do anything, and it really made me just sort of feel like I really need to take care of myself. This is a lesson for you guys to just, one day you're fine and one day you're next, and one day you're not fine. So so what that just really means is that take control now. That's why I'm here. It's January. We don't have to worry about Christmas, Thanksgiving. All of the holidays are behind us. 2017 has officially begun, and you want to control your health. You want to be proactive, not reactive. Don't let your doctor tell you bad news. Go in knowing that you're gonna get good news. That way you can say, hey doc, I'm doing great, my weight is awesome, my blood pressure is fine, my lab work, it should be all great. I will see you next year. And you're reducing any type of medical bills, prescription medications, doctor visits. It is amazing what you can do for your health by being proactive. So that's why I'm here. So I want to just kind of talk a little bit on, the title of this video today. It is called Before You Start Your Diet, Fix Your Control Panel. So what does that mean? So basically what your control panel is I consider your brain. Everybody this time of the year, joins the gym, they're online, they join some sort of diet challenge or lose 21 pounds in, 3 days or, something just crazy like that. But the reality is that you actually need to change what's up here first. Because guess what? You're doing everything backwards. If you do your diet and exercise and it doesn't work, and you wonder why you're not losing weight, it's because it's up here. Okay, there's a lot going on, and I'm going to actually talk to you specifically about some brain hormones that are involved that contribute to your metabolism. Okay, I had this talk several months ago. Make sure to check out my YouTube channel, MedFit Medical Weight Loss, to catch some of those older videos, but I'm going to do a little bit of a refresher here. There, particularly for those of you who are addicted to sugar, there is a specific brain hormone that connects in the center of your brain to give you that satisfaction. It's actually the same part of the brain that drugs and alcohol work also. And so if, I'm going to give you some bad news, if you have a family member who has a history of drug and alcohol abuse, you are susceptible to have any addiction problem. And a lot of the times, you know, you say, well, I don't do any drugs or alcohol, but guess what? Sugar is a drug too. And you may have chosen sugar as your addiction because that part of your brain, you're constantly feeding it to get its that buzz or that high. And then you wonder why, gosh, you know, I'm doing this diet and exercise, but, you know, I'm stressed out and, you know, M&Ms are calling my name and I can't seem to like get rid of this, and I just, you know, I'm always a stress eater, you know, I can never break it. Well, I have great news. I have the answer. So the number one reason why my program works is because I promote a program called OptiFast, okay? Right here. Now, I'm going to assume that many of you aren't familiar with OptiFast, and that's okay. Believe it or not, it's actually been around since the 1970s, and it's an old program. In fact, for those of you who follow Oprah, she actually did it in the 1990s. This was when she came out and she lost, you know, a whole bunch of weight and had like this, you know, wave of an after picture party, and it was just amazing back in the day. And so let me talk to you about OptiFast and how this relates to the brain hormone chemistry that I'm talking about. So OptiFast is not just your ordinary meal replacement shake. It's not something that you can get over the counter. It's not equivalent to Slim Fast or, you know, Premier Protein or anything that you can get at Sam's Club or Costco. This is actually only available through a doctor, and there's a couple of reasons. It's medically formulated, first of all. It actually has an enhanced 100% nutrition to give you fully of what you need to meet the definition of a meal replacement. That's number one. That's the basics. The number two is that it was introduced to the market under the scientific theory of stimuli narrowing. Okay, this is truly, if you guys paying attention, particularly for those of you who have a sugar addiction, also for those of you who have portion control problems, and those for you who have stress eating or emotional eating. So what do I mean by that? So back in probably like around the 1970s, there was a study done at Johns Hopkins University, and they took a group of people and they invited them and they sent them down to the, you know, the Chinese buffet restaurant down the street. They said, you know, have at it. You can eat whatever you want. You know, the bill is on us. So just enjoy. So you're having these people, as you can imagine, you go in, you got, you know, your lo mein, your fried rice, you know, your steak and broccoli, you know, your Mongolian barbecue, your sushi. I mean, you got like all these like 5 aisles of food. And, you know, just like everybody else, you know, you eat and then, but, you know, you're feeling full, but you're like, gosh, the food feels, you know, tastes so good. I'm going to go ahead and get another second helping, maybe get a third. And everybody walks out of that restaurant stuffed. And so what they decided is that, okay, everybody, you know, you're finished eating. I want you to come with me and we're going to send you through a brain MRI scan. And what happened is that lo and behold, they looked at the brain MRI scan and they said, wow, you know, this brain is all lit up. Like there were like literally like these blue lights all over this brain. And the researchers looked a little bit closer and they said, okay, well, this area of the brain is an appetite center. And this brain is an appetite center. This brain is an appetite center, this brain area. So there were like 10, 15 areas in the brain that was all lit up. And so they thought to themselves, huh, that's interesting. So a couple weeks later, they gathered the same group of people and they said, hey, we're going to take you back to the same Chinese buffet restaurant, and you can, you know, the bill is on us, but, you know, we're going to just let you eat through aisle 1. Okay, so we're just going to let you eat, you know, lo mein, fried rice, you know, chicken, broccoli, you know, etc., but just in aisle 1. And then everybody enjoyed, you know, their meal and sent them back to the brain MRI scan, and poof, they like looked at the brain MRI scan and they just basically said, wow, there's only like one part of the brain that's lit up compared to the first round of scans where it almost felt like the whole brain was lit up. And so they said, that's interesting. So what they concluded is that your brain gets stimulated. And believe it or not, you can imagine each flavor in food can act like a stimulator. So for example, you've got, your different spices and, different oils and, again, fried rice, lo mein, all of these are different flavors, but you can imagine each flavor is responsible for stimulating a part of your brain. So if you had like 15 different flavors stimulating 15 parts of your brain, you're thinking to yourself, holy smokes, I would have to eat a lot just to like satisfy each part of that brain. And so they decided, well, gosh, if we limited you to aisle 1 and gave you 5 choices, we only stimulated one part of the brain. And that way, these people ate, they felt full and satisfied, they were able to step away. And how amazing is this that was whether there was no difference between, whether it was maybe someone 5'1", female Asian versus 6'2" former football player could still eat a reasonable portion of food based on this concept. And so how does OptiFast work? Now, again, it's only available through a doctor, and I provide it as a treatment course to, again, fix your control panel. Before we even start working on the diet exercise, we need to work on the stimulation in your brain, and we need to limit how much your brain is stimulated. I guarantee you, after just like a couple of days or even a week of this shake that seems like really tiny is actually going to make you feel full and satisfied, and you're going to be like, well, I'm done. I totally don't need any more food. And that's actually really powerful. And then a couple hours later, you'll have like another, shake or a bar or whatnot. But that's the magic of OptiFast. And there's no other program like it. And that's why I fully support it, because it works. And just to let you know, I did it myself. Haley was born 2 years ago. I remember January 2015. That was when I started the OptiFast program, because I reworked my brain and narrowed the stimulation, got the weight off. I lost 40 pounds in 3 months. And if I can do that, then you can do it too. I'm not very muscular. I don't have a fast metabolism. There's nothing magical about me other than I just followed the system. And this is why OptiFast works. It's a medical science system. That is what's going to be superior to anything that you see out there. But again, it needs to be guided through a doctor, and that's why I'm here. So stop wasting your time. Don't do things backwards. Don't start your diet and exercise. Allow me to fix your control panel. So I'm offering consultations here in my office. If you saw this Facebook Live, I'm going to offer you a free consultation. So I only have about 10 spots left this month, so please make sure that you just mention, hey, I saw Dr. Tran on Facebook Live. I'd like to, cash in on a free consultation. That way we can get a full metabolic report. We'll walk through, your lab work. We'll really get kind of a medical baseline, and then I'm going to introduce OptiFast to you and really clean you up and control your control panel. So go ahead and go to my website at www.denverweightlossclinic.com. You can schedule online. It's very easy. It's quick, and expect about 60 minutes with me. Like I said, you're going to get so much value just with our one-on-one session, but this is the #1 reason why OptiFast works. Okay, start looking it up. This is the wave of the future. You need to lose weight, then you need to use science to do it. Stop jumping on a wagon and the fad diets without really understanding how your body works. Allow me to do that. That's why I went through training, to really help you facilitate that. So thanks for listening to me today. This is a really important topic. I know it's not very sexy, but I'm telling you, before you start your diet and exercise, you need to fix your control panel. Okay, I'll see you next week.